The baby's at school, so we're in a new location. Wow.
It's time to meet the Muppets on the Muppet Show tonight.
Hello and welcome. If you're new here, my name is Felix. This is a channel that my wife and I both post on. We are full-time content creators. It's a very weird job, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit today. I'm going to put timestamps in the description of this, so if there are parts of this that are not interesting to you, you just care about the money stuff, I get it, that's fine. I'm also part of the nosy community. If you're curious about how we got here, I was also going to do some explaining of that, because often people are like, how did you become a full-time content creator? And I'm like, I don't know. It's weird. On August 27th of 2020, I posted a video to TikTok of Morgan crying because she wanted Texas Roadhouse. Here's the video.
Morgan, why are you crying? Because I want to go to Texas Roadhouse. I love you. I only have $10. I'll pay for you to go to Texas Roadhouse. That's not true. You hate it. I'll pay for you to go. I can't go by myself. I'll call my dad. He'll take you. He's too far away.
And it was just kind of like a classic over-the-top Muppety interaction that we were having that was like very silly. I look back on it now and I'm like, this is not edited enough. Yeah, I should have clipped this, I would have clipped this, like, you know. But it was a different time. And I had been posting on TikTok just a teeny tiny bit, just a little about like sustainability things. Not really because I thought it was gonna go anywhere, but because it was something I had been doing on my Instagram story where I was doing like sustainable Sundays, and then it always ended up being on Monday, so it was sustainable Mondays. And this was just something that was like for my friends, my like, I don't know, 1,000 followers that I had or whatever on Instagram. So it was like 40 people who saw my story, and it was just fun, and people interacted with it, and it was just like, it was cool. Mostly people I like went to high school and college with, right? Morgan and I had been long distance. We did the Disney college program together, and that was how we met. She's from Alabama, I'm from Oregon. We were living in Florida at the time, and so for the people in my life who I went to high school and college with, they were like, oh, this is really interesting. Felix is on a weird adventure, like, I don't know. And Morgan has always been hilarious, like so funny. And because we were long distance, we were just constantly used to sort of like documenting what the other person was doing, and it was just for us. It was like, oh, I have to remember this because like this is so funny, because we were obsessed with each other and we were 22. Which is crazy. I don't know. I think a lot of people would be like, weird that your instinct was to pull your phone out and record your girlfriend crying. Like, I feel like you can tell in the video she's not upset crying. Like, she's like frustration crying, and we're sort of like sharing a silly moment together, and like she also thought it was funny, and like, I don't know. Morgan's a ham anyway, right? So we were sort of like accidentally over the course of like our entire relationship kind of built for this job, which I guess is sort of bleak in terms of like capitalism, but it's like, I don't know, like it's worked for us, and it's great, and we really like it. So anyway, posted that on TikTok. It got like 50,000 views in the first like 2 days. And I remember talking to Morgan, who'd been on TikTok much longer than me. I was a late adopter of TikTok because I was like, oh, it's so annoying. You're always just like listening to it really loud in bed next to me. Like, anything you show me, none of it makes any sense, because you're showing me these like trends, and I was like, okay, so it's about the words, or it's about like the song, like what does this mean? Anyway, I was like, oh, it has 50,000 views, and she's like, well, that's not that many views for TikTok. And then I was like, oh, it has 100,000 views, and she's like, that's not a small amount, actually. That's like kind of decent for TikTok. Over the first couple of weeks when that video had come out and we were like responding to questions with videos and like other things, I think we got like 10,000 followers, and I believe this is because of a number of reasons. One being that I was not yet on testosterone, and so Morgan and I look and sound like a very classic lesbian couple. I am non-binary. I use he, they pronouns. It's not something that's like, I don't know, high level, but just I'm not a trans man, if that is relevant to anyone. So I think it's fine to call Morgan and I lesbians, but Morgan is also not a lesbian. She's bisexual. All this to say, I think that the way that people were perceiving us was as like a very quintessential like young lesbian couple who were just like going out into the world in Florida, working at Disney World, and they were like, oh, well, this is interesting. Like, these people are cute and funny, right? So yeah, I don't know. I think like something about that was compelling to people. Mostly probably that Morgan is very funny. August of 2020, Disney World has opened back up. I'm working at Disney World. It had been closed for 4 months. Morgan is still temporarily laid off. And then Morgan became permanently laid off. It was actually a really wild set of circumstances because People sent us money to go to Texas Roadhouse. That was the other thing. That was the bananas thing. At no point in that video did we think like thousands of people are gonna see this and are gonna send us money. Like, that wasn't the idea. The idea was like, oh, this is really silly. This might be relatable to some people. I'll post it on a platform so that I can like send it to my family members and friends who are also on TikTok because they'll think it's funny that Morgan is being silly, right? Like, that was the idea. And then we got, I want to say it was like $1,200 of people, because people kept on asking for our like Venmo so that we could go to Texas Roadhouse and film at Texas Roadhouse. And that was kind of wild. For a number of reasons, it was very wild. Also, it was like Morgan wasn't back to work yet, and like Florida unemployment, I think she was about to run out of it, and we were freaked out of it. Anyway, I don't feel bad at all that people sent us money. And if you did, thank you so much. That was bananas. We are like, okay, screw it, yeah, let's go to Texas Roadhouse. And it was, I want to say it was like a month later that we ended up going, maybe just a few weeks later. I don't know. My timeline is so bad about everything. But we went, we tipped our waiter and also our server both $100. It was also really funny because we like rolled up to that Texas Roadhouse and we were like, just like gonna get a table, like, hey, and they were like, oh, we know you from your video about Texas Roadhouse. And we were like, oh my God, that's so weird. Like, that had never happened to us before, right? At Texas Roadhouse, Morgan's looking at her phone and she gets an email saying that Disney World is laying off. I can't remember how many cast members it was, but it was like some insane quantity. It was like 20,000. It was like something bananas out of like 70,000. And she was like, it's me, I'm gonna get laid off. And I was like, no, that's crazy. You're in guest relations. Like, there's no way, like, no. And Morgan and I, at that point, were living in the same apartment. We had just got a car. We were a one-car family of just the two of us. We had some roommates, and part of what made it possible for us to use that one car was that we were both working at Disney World. There's like a ton of transportation around Disney World. So like I would work my shift at Epcot, take the monorail to Magic Kingdom, wait backstage at Magic Kingdom for Morgan to get off her shift. Usually it was the other way around. Usually it was Morgan would take anyway, it doesn't matter. All that matters about this is that it wouldn't have been possible for us to work at two different places in Florida. It's just 45 minutes to drive anywhere. We only had one car. Morgan was making way more money at guest relations than most of the like entry-level jobs in Florida were, and also like nobody was hiring, particularly if you were a Disney person, because they knew that those Disney people were gonna get called back eventually. We're at Texas Roadhouse. Morgan gets this email. She's like, it's me, I'm fucked. And I'm like, hey, no, like we're not gonna worry about it. We're at Texas Roadhouse. We're having fun. Like, it's okay. Like, we're gonna worry about that later. And then a few days later, Morgan gets a call being told that she is getting laid off. And so I call my manager, sobbing, Mark, shout out to Mark, who's really lovely, and was like, do you know if it's gonna be me next? I'm a new coordinator. Do you know what's gonna happen? And he's like, I have no idea. I'm so sorry. An incredible manager of a 22-year-old. He was so brave. The next call that I make as Morgan's driving to drop me off at work, I've like still like tear-streaked cheeks, is to my mom. And I'm like, hey, Morgan got laid off. What do you guys think about us moving to Oregon? Which was never been in our plan. We had planned on living in Florida, raising our kids in Florida, trying to start having kids after we got married. We were engaged at that point. Like, we were gonna be cast member parents raising their kids in the parks, which is the thing that people do. And that was like our big vision for ourselves. And it just had been, there was no future where we were like, let's go to Oregon. And then Morgan got laid off and my parents were like, oh my God, yeah. And then we're like, cool, we're doing a cross-country road trip. So that's also really interesting in our like content, right? Like we posted a video like sobbing, being like, LOL, we're moving across the country. That's gonna be some fun content for you guys to see. It's gonna be fine.
Doo-ba-doo-doo-ba-doo. Everywhere you look, everywhere there's a place, there's a place. This song is copyrighted, but this was the song we used. I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure. It was so long ago, and you know the song, except not good. And I know the song, but not very good. And this is the song. Kind of, it's the song a little.
And yeah, people were really into it. It was interesting to them. This is just on TikTok, just short form. That's all that we're doing. We moved across the country. It was in October of 2020, and we were in a swing state in Florida, and we were registered to vote. So we went first thing, you call it rope dropping at Disney, but we went to the polls when they opened. We were like waiting at them to open at our two separate locations because I was still registered at my college program apartment. Voted for Joe Biden. and then went across the country. And so we do our cross-country road trip. It's really fun. My mom and my best friend Hannah are also with us. You guys know Hannah, she's lovely. You guys know my mom, she's lovely. We make it to Oregon. Everything is crazy. My parents paid for our stuff to be in one of those like stupid U-Haul U-boxes. It was stressful, but it was fine. They co-signed an apartment with us, which was incredible of them. They paid like the first like 2 months rent while we were looking for jobs. It was not something that would have been possible without my parents. Like there's literally no way. We're in a huge position of privilege to have them as a safety net and to support us at that time. And they didn't have like buckets of money either, so it wasn't something that was like super easy for them to do. Oh, we get married, legally married that same month because Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett is elected, is put on the Supreme Court. We think that because of that marriage equality is like quickly going to go away. We got married, courthouse-ish married. We got legally married on Halloween of 2020. The first brand deal we have is June of 2021, Universal Standard. They send us free clothes, and they gave us, I want to say it was like $200. I think it was $200 total, $100 for each of us. And I remember specifically posting a story to my close friends on TikTok and being like, LOL, they didn't even have to send us the money. All they had to do was send us the clothes. Like, I was working at Starbucks. I needed neutral colored clothes anyway. Yeah, and it was fine. Like, they like did a little like interview with us. We like took pictures. Like, it was cute. They had us take pictures with what are this called? With an instant camera that they sent to us. We mailed it back to them. It was very cool. It was around that time we started doing the podcast, and around that time where we made the Instagram account, Couple of Goofs, which was the name of our podcast before we had been going by Boevim, which is a misspelling of my dead name that I was using as a username because I thought it was funny. I was at a Loud Mall ordering a Starbucks water because their water is triple filtered. It was at a time where you didn't have to pay for the Starbucks water. And the girlie said, "What's your name?" And I said, "Phoebe." And she said, "How do you spell that?" And I said, Phoebe. And she said, "Oh, what an interesting spelling." And I said, "Oh, it's like the standard spelling. Like, that's how Phoebe from Friends spells it." And she's like, "That is so wild. I had no idea." And I was like, interesting. And then I looked at my cup and it said Bhoeve. And then my last name is May, so that's what the M is for. So, like, Boevim. It's like technically Bevim, but I say it Boevim. But that's what my email is. That's what our account was. And then we make a podcast, call it Couple of Goofs, because of one TikTok that we posted where somebody was like, "Are you guys a couple?" And Morgan said, "A couple? Or a couple of goofs?" And that is now who we are. I want to say that we were monetized on TikTok at that point for a very short period of time, and the majority of the money that we ended up making was from like random one-off brand deals. I have a lot of feelings about brand deals. The positives of getting paid by either a big corporation or a business of any size that has enough money in their marketing budget to like pay people is that, you know, you're getting paid money. That's great. There's many, many negatives to this, which is that right now, content creation is sort of like, people think of it as like a burgeoning job market where just like anybody can be an influencer. And I don't think that's necessarily wrong, but there's a lot of companies who are taking advantage of folks who are in that position who are trying to like make something of themselves. And so they're having them do a lot of like affiliate and like commission work. It's just, even if you have a butt ton of followers, depending on what that person's product is, depending on like what your follower base is, like that doesn't mean that your promotion of a product is going to actually get clicks and purchases, even if it's a great product, if it's just not something that your follower base needs. And also, if they didn't start following you because of like something that you're like telling them to buy, then it's not like a great fit for a lot of reasons. So anyway, basically, these brands will try to get small content creators to do a lot of work for very little pay, or they'll try to not pay them at all, but get them to post content. I don't mind when a brand is like, "We'll send you something for free, you don't have to post about it." Usually we'll still like post on our story or like whatever, not typically like a whole video. That's fine, but what a lot of brands will do is they'll be like, "We'll pay you $300 to post a TikTok video that's 45 seconds long, where in the first 5 seconds you mention the name of the product, and for at least 10 seconds is you show you using the product, and make sure you put the link in your bio for 7 days, and we're gonna boost it so a whole bunch more people than just your regular followers see it. Isn't that great? There's gonna be more eyeballs on you. Nobody wants more eyeballs on an ad. That's not what your normal content is. Make it you, make it totally yourself, but make sure you use these talking points that we're gonna put here, and if you say any of these wrong, we'll make you reshoot the video. Also, you have to wear clothes that are like completely neutral and plain. You can't have anything that has like a logo or any words on it. It's that, and then they'll set it back and forth and make you edit it like 7 times because they didn't like one little thing about it, or they'll be like, actually, can you do voiceover? They'll be like, actually, we've changed our mind about this campaign, and then at the end of the day, it's like, I know I'm getting $300, but like, oh my God, like that was hours and hours and hours of work, because it's not just the filming, right? It's like emails back and forth, it's like a draft, it's like all this blah, 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 blah. We did that kind of stuff for like a hot minute. Never anything evil. I think we did one ad for one time, and I should ask for more money. We definitely could have got more money out of them. Just because they're so scary and big, I don't want to talk like too much about it, because we did sign a thing saying that we wouldn't talk about it. So like in the past we've talked about it a little bit on Patreon, but whatever. They were a pain. They sent us a script and were like really, it's whatever. I don't even mind a script, but like we had to like go buy props. It was unreal. And they didn't pay us very much. It was over $1,000, but not much more than $1,000. So, which was a ton. That was the most we'd ever made at that time, and it was a lot. It felt like a lot because it was a lot, right? As we're doing these brand deals, we're just getting weird, random one-off things. It was never like a crazy amount of money that we were making doing that. It was not really enough for us to quit our jobs. But the thing about content creation is like the more you put into it, the more you get out of it in terms of like how much content you're making and what you're doing. The other thing about commission and affiliate work that really pisses me off is that you are incentivized to ask your followers to purchase something, whether they need that item or not. And because we are not capitalists, I just don't like that. I also don't like this concept of like, I'm making a video about something, and if you don't buy this thing, I don't get paid. Like, we very, very, very rarely do like affiliate or commission work. The instances where we have in the past and will in the future are for Hank Green's Awesome Socks thing. We made like $5,000 doing Awesome Socks, which was so cool. It was incredibly helpful, and the reason that we made so much money is because they had a much higher like payout. It was like for every subscription that you got paid $5, I think is what it was. Anyway, and we made a bunch of videos about it and got a bunch of people subscribed to Awesome Socks, and like that was really cool. And also Morgan had previously made a video being like, I don't really trust Hank Green, so it's kind of funny that we were doing it. There's kind of like layers to it. I don't think they do that like program anymore, because I can't imagine that they were making enough money. I know they were able to produce Awesome Socks, and then like they also got the money from it, but I think that they ended up taking a loss with like the creator portion of it, which makes sense because we made $5,000. It doesn't seem like it should be legal. Oh, and also with Awesome Socks, it's a subscription, right? So you're banking on people continuing to be subscribed, not to immediately cancel their subscription. But I didn't feel weird about us doing that ad, because it's like, oh, a lot of people are gonna get Awesome Socks anyway. This is like a fun thing. If you want to get it, you can support us. That's great. It's not like, oh, I think you're a terrible parent if you're not getting this brand of diapers. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like sometimes that's like the undercurrent, or like, oh, like you're gonna be incredibly unhealthy unless you use like this supplement or like whatever else, right? Like particularly things like that, like they're kind of stressful to me. We actually have a commission thing coming up. I don't think it's a secret, but I guess I'm just gonna be vague just in case it is. There's a collab coming up with a creator who's very cool, and like for Pride Month, they're doing 50% of the proceeds of what they're selling in their like merchandise, their like art merch is going to, it's like 30% goes to an organization of our choice, and then 20% is going to the content creator, to us, which is super cool. And also this person, it's like cool art and some like accessories. If you have ever been thinking about getting a sick claw clip, then now's a great time to get it, right? Because we get some of the money from it, but it's not something that's like, I don't feel like that's pushy. And also this is a person whose content we followed for a really long time. We've had some back and forth, they sent us stuff, etc. So like that is very different to me versus me being like, I'm making this video about toothpaste. This is the best toothpaste for your teeth. If you use other toothpaste, you should be worried. Buy this toothpaste, otherwise I don't get paid, right? So like almost all of the ad work that we do in the past, and also always, has been flat rate, where we get paid regardless of what happens. We could post the video, it could get 3 views, and we still get $2,000 or whatever it is, right? Because that's the thing, is that like, I feel that what a brand is paying for is many things. It's the video, but it is also, they're paying for us to be associated with that product, potentially forever in somebody's mind. They're paying for us to not take on other ad work that is sketchy, that delegitimizes our trust, our followers' trust in us. They are paying for us to get recognized when we go to the grocery store. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's like a lot of like layers to this very, very weird job that we have, and I don't feel bad having brands pay us for that, because they should. And also, the other thing is, if you think about it, if they were hiring a social media marketing team to do this and to make this video, if you think about like the person who is physically there doing the video, and then the person who's editing, and then the person who's in charge of the lighting and like set dressing for that, like those are all different people, and they're all getting paid individually. So like it is so much cheaper to hire a content creator than it is to get somebody to make you like a commercial that you play on a vertical screen, right? Ads are weird. I have mixed feelings about ads. We're not getting a lot of them recently. I'm not stressed out about it for a multitude of reasons. Okay. Currently, the most money that we make is on Patreon. We make right around $2,100 a month. On Patreon, it says that we make $2,300. I don't know if those are just like charges that haven't gone through yet that are new this month. It seems unlikely to me, but we also have a setup in our Patreon where lowest tier is $1, highest tier is $8. For $8, you get all of our YouTube content for free. Also, if you're just at the $1 tier, you see us like every 2 weeks-ish in like a 15 to 45 minute video, just talking about stuff that's going on, unedited. If it just, I don't know, it's like sort of like podcasty, like, oh, here's what's going on with us. Like, these are things that maybe we wouldn't say in front of the greater internet, but like, we know that you guys are here in good faith, generally speaking. Oh, and Patreon, anytime we edit those tiers, they're always like, you shouldn't have a $1 tier. It's not best to have a $1 tier. You're not making as much money as you would if you were to have a higher thing. We don't even suggest a $3 tier. It's weird. So I think that technically with like fees and stuff, we're not losing any money on the $1 tier. And that's the important part to me, right? Is that for our Patreon content, I really want it to be theoretically accessible to everyone. You can pay $1, watch all of our content, and then cancel it after a month. I really don't care what you do. Like, that is totally okay. When we first decided to start making content that was going to be behind like a paywall, I was like, we have to make it so that there's an option for folks who are like, oh, I just really want to have this content, but like, I don't really have the capacity to support somebody monthly. And I don't care what other creators do. It's not about that. It's just like, it was important to us that that's how we do it. So Patreon's where we make the most of our money. We've kind of like slowly built up on Patreon because we've had people following us on other platforms. We are not monetized on TikTok or on Instagram, and we don't post anymore on Facebook. We did a little bit on there, just like our Instagram post to Facebook. We are monetized here on YouTube, and that is because YouTube does a really good job of paying creators, and they have had an incredibly stable creator program for an extended period of time. I'm sure that if people got in really early on the creator program in YouTube, they like made a bunch of money really quickly, and there was like way less people to be watching all these videos, right? So I'm sure it like was better, the same way that everything that is started off and had less people, it was better, like MLME, right? And we had previously been doing streaming. We had been paid by Twitch, and Twitch is owned specifically by Amazon, and I know Instagram's owned by Meta, but I hate Amazon. And Twitch is great, but it was a lot of emotional energy with not a lot of long-term rewatchability. Like, people don't like really as much go back and watch a bunch of streams. Also, our sort of core audience is the 25 to 34s, and those folks are really watching YouTube, and it's a slightly younger or slightly older but nerdier group who are on Twitch watching those kinds of things. And you can watch streaming content on YouTube, you can watch gaming content on YouTube. So if that's something that we like wanted to do more regularly, we could just do it here. YouTube pays pretty well. It is really hard to say that I could like look at somebody's following and know how much money they make. We again make $2,100 a month the past like 3-ish months from Patreon, which rocks, and then from YouTube it's like slowly building, but between like $600 and $800 depending on the videos that we are posting is like how much we've got. The most we ever got was I think $1,100, and that was during Vlogmas. We had a little bit of a drop off after that, and that's also the weird thing about YouTube, right, is that the it's like you're getting paid per view per ad. So it's like I'm making up a number, so don't quote me at this at all, but it's like 14 cents, and it's way less than that certainly, right? But like for every whatever. There at one point there's somewhere in our insights where it told us what our like rate per ad was, which is kind of interesting information. So yeah, I mean that's the bulk of our income right now is $2,100-ish from Patreon, $600 to $800-ish from YouTube, and then whatever ad stuff we have on top of that. We have an ad coming up, which is really exciting. We also have sort of like a long-term agreement coming up in September with a community college, so that's really exciting. Recently, we had a manager for like a year-ish, maybe. And she was great. She got us a couple of really good ads and was just like generally like a really lovely person, and she rocked. Like she was really cool. Shout out Paige. At what is it? Grail. At Grail Talent, we were like with them, and then she ended up not having that job anymore, which is totally fine, and I'm happy that she's moving on to the things that she wanted to be doing. We got somebody else, and then that guy was also fine, but like I don't think was like reaching out in the same way. And also at a certain point when you're getting so few ads, it's like, would I have got these without a manager? Like, and the manager takes 20%, as they should, because that they like helped you get that deal. But yeah, it just, I don't know. It didn't really gel for us for a period of time with him. And then, I mean, we didn't like fire him exactly. We sort of like quit being with Grail. We had talked for so long about maybe wanting a manager. We like had one for a period of time. It was good for us at that time, and we don't have one now. And I like that right now, because of that, the people who are reaching out to us are folks who are really invested in our content, already know what our vibe is, and are like, they either have someone like on their marketing team who actually knows our social media and like gets our vibe, or they have somebody who has done enough research to be like, hey, I know that you don't show your kid. Like, we're not interested in you doing that. We just love for you to talk about this part of having a kid and like this product or this experience or location or whatever, right? And that's really cool. That's great. And that is just like such a world of difference from when the baby was first here and we were doing ads, and we had signed a contract with one, and then after the fact, like in the draft that we did, they were like, no, you have to show like more clips of the child. And we were like, hate that a lot, hate that so much. The other sort of like financially relevant part is that we're on Oregon Health Plan. It rocks. It is so great. I feel so strongly about people having universal health care. I would love for more of my taxes to go to other people's health care and for less of it to go to bombing people. I think that would be great. I think of it as really like a non-issue in that way. That's the other thing about our money, is that the taxes, that's all the things that I'm saying are pre-tax, right? So we have to pay taxes quarterly is what we're supposed to do. Yeah, we're a few years in now to doing this full time, and have not quite got to the swing of like being able to do that. It is tough when everything is so expensive. It's like, if I make enough money to pay rent and then groceries, and then I buy the groceries and also pay rent, and then it's like, well, where's the part I was supposed to hold over, like save for taxes, right? And then it's like, well, do I even want to pay taxes? Because they're using it for bombs, right? So kind of a lot. We do pay taxes. We do file taxes. We have a very cool CPA who we work with, who we pay, I think it's like $700 to like file our taxes. We did an extension this year, so I'm not even worrying about it. I'm doing like hyper procrastination. That's evil of me. I don't care. We would not be able to do this job if we didn't have some kind of healthcare something set up. OHP is great, Oregon Health Plan, which is Medicaid for Oregon. Also, we pay rent to my parents. This house, we all live in it together. We pay part of the mortgage is what it is, but we pay $1,500 every month. And we sometimes split that up, like half at the beginning of the month, half at the middle of the month, and sometimes it's late. And that is something that's not something we would be able to do if we were in like an apartment. I think a lot of people look at content creators, at influencers, and they see their follower count and they just like associate a dollar amount with that. So like we have 500,000 followers on TikTok, like, oh, you must have made like $1 per person over time. You must have made $500,000. No. And I'll tell you why. TikTok, we joined the creator program in TikTok early on, the first like 2 months. I think we made like $400, which wasn't like incredible, but it wasn't nothing. At a certain point, we had something go viral, and I think we made like $1,000, which was cool. And then at a certain point, it like dipped off, and we were basically making like $100-ish a month. We were constantly getting community guidelines violations. I think that's partially because we're queer, and partially because if you are actually in the TikTok creator program, I think the algorithm that they have looking at creators who are monetized is just like a lot more strict than the everybody algorithm, because it's like, oh, we're directly paying these people. They need to be like, we can't be paying them if they're doing something sketchy that is against community guidelines. Like, I get that. And because at the time that we were in the TikTok creator program, we were making like 90% of our income from social media through brand deals, it like felt like it throttled our views. I don't know if that's like true or if that's what would have happened even if we weren't in the creator program. TikTok is incredibly volatile in a lot of ways, but like the algorithm is always changing. Our views went down a ton after being in the creator program for a period of time, which could be because TikTok is the one who's in charge of your views regardless, and if they're the one paying you and they have to pay you for per view, they are more likely to not want you to be seen by as many people. TikTok also switched the way that their views count in the past few years. So it's like if something is on someone's following page, that doesn't count as a view. It only counts if it's on the For You page. And TikTok is the only one who can like push your video to the For You page. It's bonkers. And also now people are like leaving TikTok in droves, right? Like it is sort of a dying application. There's commercials for it on the television, which is never a good sign. Oh, and then we had tried to join the Instagram Reels creator program. We applied for it like 3 times and they didn't accept us. I don't know why. We had, I want to say it was like less than 100,000 followers when we applied for it, but it may have been like 80-some thousand followers. And I think the reason they didn't approve us is because they would have to pay us too much based on like what their creator payout is. It's really tough with these like sort of like new creator monetization programs, because they either you get in early and it rocks and then you stop making money, or it's like weirdly specific and your views are bad, or I don't know. It's just, I have a lot of mixed feelings about them. YouTube has been great, and the really nice thing about YouTube is that unlike Twitch, people like go back and watch your old stuff too. So even though it's like energy to do the editing and like the filming and the other stuff, like we continue to make money off of those videos. So if you're putting them on in the background for your cat or your dog or whoever else, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. It is super helpful to us. We used to do a lot of wage transparency content. We don't so much anymore because I don't want it to come off as like dry begging. If you're not familiar with the concept of dry begging, it's when you're like, gosh, really wish I had a pair of shoes. Wish I had shoes. Shoes are so cool. Expressing a need for something without just like being vulnerable and actually asking for help. And we don't need like help. Like if it's help yourselves. It's really important to us that our followers, it's just like so tough out here. Like everything's so expensive. It's so bad. Like please take care of yourself first. Take care of the people in your lives, your community. Like it's okay. We're super thankful to all of the people who are on our Patreon, because that makes it so we're able to make this content and we're able to have this very weird job that we have. Like so grateful. But if you have to cancel your Patreon subscription or like whatever, it's like no hard feelings. We're never upset by it. You have to prioritize whatever you need to prioritize. That's completely okay. We would never be stressed out by that. And there's enough other people who are also subscribing that it's like, it's not affecting us, right? It is okay. So yeah, this is like about as wage transparent as I'm gonna get right now. We also can't really talk about like what we're getting from specific brands. In the past, we've never gotten in trouble for it, but in the past we've talked about it because we're like working with more brands, so we could kind of vaguely be like, this is how much money we're making per brand deal-ish, by like from small brands, this is how much from like medium-ish, this much from like large. The only thing that I will really say is like, if you see someone do an ad for a marital aid, we have a friend living with us right now, upstairs, like not like in our same, and they described something as a marital, they were like, why is this package so fancy, like an expensive marital aid? And I was like, shut up. Anyway, if you see someone doing an advertisement with a marital aid, I just need you to know that one, they weren't paid enough. Okay, if they've ever done that ad before, they knew they weren't going to be paid enough, and that those people are a huge pain in the butt to work with and are so stressful and so annoying.
Editing Morgan here to say that we haven't worked with every single company that makes these type of products in the world, so maybe some of them aren't like this, but in our experience, this has been our experience.
So just like, that's someone who has rent due, and like, do not judge them for that. Okay? And I don't know what it is about these marital aid companies, but it's like, you're not legally, it's like against community guidelines literally on Instagram to post about marital aids, about anything that is, you can't even post about birth control, I don't think. Anyway, all this to say, they are the worst. They suck so bad. And they're not evil. They're not evil people. It's not the fault of the people who work there. But they also try to like lock you in to an ad with them like months early on something. So it's like before you hit 100,000 followers. So you could have asked them for more money, but you scheduled it like 3 months ago. They really piss me off. Keep purchasing the marital aids. They work great. You know, they're fine. Like, it's whatever. It's not about the product, okay? It's about their freaking marketing team. Anytime I see someone post one, I'm like, Godspeed, brother, you know. And also, we're constantly getting emails about AI things that like aren't disclosing that they're AI, that they're like, hey, we'd like for you to do this app that's new, that's blah, 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 blah. And I have to be like, what? How is AI involved in it? And they're like, the whole thing's AI. And I'm like, right. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not like supporting like the death of our environment via, you're gonna make a individual video for my child to learn about potty training. Like, that's so... Or we had previously been getting quite a few for like GLP-1 stuff. Also unreal. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not God's bravest soldier or anything. It's a very weird job that we have. I continue to feel that the flexibility in our time is so worth it more than anything else. We're kind of like never not working, but we are rarely unable to like stop and take time to spend time with our son. I think that when eventually we have like him and possibly a little sibling in like elementary school, I think that will be a different thing maybe than I would maybe consider going back to kind of like a more standard like regular job, or just trying really hard to open up a free store, like a free clothing store. Oh God, I'd love that. Oh, and that's the other thing, is that with this weird job, like we are able to do a bunch of kind of insane community care things in general. So like, because we do the plus size clothing swap, a lot of those clothes after the fact, they get distributed in Portland amongst folks who need them for free. And then also I'll take stuff for Soup Squad here in Salem. I get kids clothing swap clothes, got some from Radical Abundance, and like I, give them to families who need them in Salem. We have I think it's a really free market coming up in the end of June, which is really exciting. We would not have time to make all these unhinged decorations for the child's birthday if we didn't have this job, that's for sure. And that kind of content is sort of like fun and evergreen, in that there will certainly be someone in the next few years who's trying to have a Bear in the Big Blue House birthday party, and maybe they're like, how did someone paint absurd cardboard cutout of Luna? What did that look like when somebody else did it? Maybe it can be inspired by that. And you can, because I did it. And that'll be coming out eventually. I think this Sunday, actually. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here, because your eyeballs get converted into dollars for me to buy groceries, and that rocks. If you have not subscribed, we would love for you to subscribe. No pressure, but maybe just check and see if you've done it, and if not, maybe think about it, because we love having you here. We really appreciate it. I wish you the inner peace of a person who has never had to email a marital aid company back and forth where they argue with you and are like, can you just like not mark it as an advertisement, even though you're like, it's important to me that my followers know whether or not something is an advertisement, so I am gonna mark it as an advertisement. Are there bloopers? Probably. I don't know. Okay, have a good day. Mwah. I'm trying to in an okay spot, like we're not. Where did my coffee go? No! Coffee! Do what you gotta do. Let me interact. Let me click this link to get a free one that no one's ever gotten ever in their lives. There's no such thing as a way to get a free one. Why do they do that? I digress.
Pretty lady, can you explain NFTs?
I can. You must be a man.
Right.
And then you say, I'm not satisfied with having the easiest course of life in human history. I think I would also like to own something that doesn't exist. And then you give some other person, who I guess doesn't have to be a man, but probably is, thousands of dollars, and they say, you own this thing. And they say, are you sure? And they say, yeah. Here's a little post-it note that says you own it. Step.
Which stage of grief is this, Morgan?
This is only charcuterie board. Take a nap in the middle of the day. Drink no water. Dread going to work. Wish that you were born an heiress. There's some drama in my hometown of Mobile, Alabama. At the local pet store, B&B Pet Stop on Cottage Hill Road has a ferret that has gone missing. They've got security footage of this person. Took the ferret, put the ferret in her buggy. She apparently has 3 kids with her. The kids aren't in the photos that they shared from the security footage. Takes all 4 of them, the children and the ferret, into the bathroom with the buggy. And she leaves with just the children and an empty buggy. B&B Pet Stop is like, does anyone know this woman? She's stolen our beloved ferret. And you go to the comments of that, and everybody's like, I hope this girl burns in hell. It's so serious.
Morgan, explain to the people why there was a loose ferret in her cart. Please.
They have an interesting approach to being a pet shop. There are, like, lids on the containers for, like, the normal pets, like ferrets and hamsters and bunnies and such. But any adult can just lift it and take the animal out. And they say that it helps the animals be like more socialized, and so they're better pets.
Have you ever seen an adult person put a loose animal into their shopping cart?
No, when you want to buy one, you're supposed to go get someone who works.
Okay, so that's...
It's supposed to just be for like kind of leaning over and petting them.
God. And this woman is claiming that she did not steal.
You go to her Facebook page. You can tell who it is because people are tagging her. She says it wasn't her. They just think it's her, because she was the last one seen with the ferret. And so people are like, well, what happened? You took him into the bathroom and then what? And then she says, I don't know. Wasn't my problem.
So she lost him in the plumbing.
I don't know. I think even if she did, it's still her fault. And she owes them $14.99 or however much a ferret costs. And I tell you what, it's moments like these that make me #proud to be an American, because people I have not talked to in years are posting like, good morning to everyone except the girl who stole the ferret from B&B Pet Stop. Or they'll be like, can't wait for this criminal to be behind bars. And I doubt she's getting arrested.
#lock her up.
Yes. And bless her heart. I think she did it. I'm seeing the other things she's sharing, and I'm thinking, this is the act of someone who is a criminal against ferrets. I think she could commit a ferret crime. And maybe she didn't. I haven't spoken with her lawyer, her legal ferret team, but I believe justice will be served.